Prime Minister for Ministry of National Health Services, Regulations and Coordination, representatives of the United Nations Population Fund, Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, USAID, ICF, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I have started my speech with the mask on because I think the fact that some of the speech may go on air is important, that people of Pakistan realize that the second wave of COVID-19 exists, and throughout the world there are people and populations are under pressure. So the three vital things which need to be taken care of continue. One is wear the mask on all occasions wherever you have an interaction with people, keep a safe distance and wash your hands and don't touch your face. So these are important messages which must go out. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important survey which has come out today. I have read some issues which you have pointed out. I believe in all countries where poverty alleviation has been an issue, it has been important that the health of the nation is taken care of, and the education sector. So we are talking today about the health of maternal health, and together with the fact that the Prime Minister of Pakistan has given great importance to stunting. I remember his first speech, as soon as he became the Prime Minister, he held an X-ray in front of him and showed to the people of Pakistan that stunting is a very important factor, and that related to maternal nutrition is something which is, of course, a situation which needs to be controlled. Population by itself, the growth in population, I've had, as the Prime Minister requested me to take charge of the population task force, we've had meetings in all the provinces, and the chief ministers of all the provinces who are members of that task force have been very cooperative. There are issues which I must present before you, because a number of countries in the region and throughout the world have been able to manage that well. In Pakistan, the dialogue, when I was a member of the National Assembly from 2013 to 2018, population never became a point of discussion within the Assembly. In Pakistan, somehow it was not discussed as much as it needed to. Since this government has taken over, a lot of efforts are being made. There are some low-hanging fruits in trying to handle population, and keep imagining the fact that frequent pregnancies of the mother leads to poor maternal health, leads to poor nutrition of the child as well, and leads to stunting. So therefore we want to be able to address that in a comprehensive manner. We also have figures that there are a huge number, about 7 or 8 million pregnancies every year in Pakistan, and out of that about 50% or a huge number are unwanted pregnancies, meaning the fact that had the opportunity been there to provide a contraceptive device or contraceptive aid to the woman in the household, she would have, or the male in the household, they would have taken preventive measures. So that seems to be the low hanging fruit, and we together with the Ministry of Health are looking at the fact that the manufacture of contraceptive devices in Pakistan and the availability should be increased from a general figure of about 40% availability to maybe 100% within the next 5 or 6 years. This is a very important factor. Talking about maternal nutrition, and frequent pregnancies do not allow the mother to recover from the pregnancy she has gone through. So if there is a gap in the birth rate, that will be the biggest factor in trying to improve maternal and child health. So therefore that gap, and as the planning minister mentioned, we have talked to the religious ulama in Pakistan, and we have had a very distinct dialogue. There is a surah, a verse in the Quran, in fact 3 verses in the Quran, which point to the fact that the mother should be breastfeeding the child for 24 months. I just saw some posters today where the nutrition efforts are being made by the government of Pakistan, and those posters were talking about encouraging mothers to breastfeed the child for 6 months. I want to combine these efforts together rather than having 2 messages going out. 6 months by the nutrition from the nutrition side of the Ministry of Health, and 24 months from the population management side or population control side of the Ministry of Health. They should be combined into a singular message. So we've talked about that, but I believe very strongly that the program which is being launched very soon talks about the ability of the delivery of nutrition pouches to the mothers throughout Pakistan. I think the access through the lady health visitor or through a ground-based visitor going out in the field is the most important factor of dissemination of information, of all health information, of all cleanliness information. So I think unless it is done in a very comprehensive manner, as the Minister of Planning has pointed out, by good cooperation between all the agencies of the government and all the provinces, it is very important that all the provinces are on board for a comprehensive approach to these issues. Things will not change as much. So what we have done is, we have taken the ulama on board as far as breastfeeding is concerned, and we believe that population planning or a gap in childbirth is probably the easiest part of the messaging which can be picked up by the government and communicated to the people of Pakistan. So as the health improves, as the economy post-COVID starts improving, we will find some good returns in this sector. At the same time, please keep in mind that there are no figures yet that what is the effect of COVID in population figures, if there are any. I'm glad to note that the maternal mortality ratio has come down to 186 per 100,000 compared to 276 in the last Pakistan demographic health survey of 2006 and 7. Keep in mind also that the financial inclusion of women in Pakistan is also important, because there are intangible effects. Tangible effects can happen with contraceptives and with other things, and increasing the nutrition level of the mothers to child mortality. But intangible effects are also there when in the mainstream of the economy, if women are given good participation. I had a meeting about 2 weeks ago when the Governor of the State Bank of Pakistan and the Chief of SAS Program, Special Advisor to the Prime Minister, Dr. Sania Neshtar, presented figures regarding financial inclusion of women. You will be surprised to note, and I was shocked, because the Governor of State Bank of Pakistan mentioned the fact that the availability of loans far exceeds the demand for loans as far as women are concerned, women entrepreneurs are concerned. The loan figure has been increased to 50 lakhs. Small and medium enterprises, the loans are available through small and medium enterprise banks, and somehow or the other, communication of this to the sector, to the women sector of Pakistan is missing. That is true, and let me mention, not related to today's meeting of course, but let me mention the fact that we are taking a good look at the ability to bring in differently abled people into the mainstream workforce of Pakistan. The international figures are around 12 to 14%. In Pakistan there is no data yet, and I must congratulate National Institute of Population Studies, because all government planning is done definitely on the data of what is the status today. If there is no data, no planning can be done. So that has happened with differently abled people, because in the census some time ago when it was done, the column as far as classifying differently abled people was missing, so therefore there is no data right now. But I've been promised by the SAS program that they are doing a census of all of Pakistan, and that number will be available by June of 2021. So even in the differently abled sector, the communication from the government and from the State Bank of Pakistan and the banks was that the availability of loans is much higher than the people who come forward. So on the side of women, I think it is very important that as they are involved in the financial progress of Pakistan, their nutrition levels, of course, and their pregnancy frequency will both be handled at the same time. We have seen that the Asas program has dispersed money more to women, and their inclusion in a digital platform. We are encouraging, the government is encouraging. All this is good news and gives an overall good view of the fact that women empowerment is happening at the same time. So there was a good discussion then on that the women who receive the money through from the Asas program, they should be encouraged to open bank accounts rather than getting the money and cashing it immediately, and then being able to, when you have cash in hand, you spend it, to encourage women to have a bank account and to deposit that money in the bank account. So when we are looking at women maternal health and child health, it is very important that this is a multi-pronged approach which Pakistan has adopted, not a single factor, not the only factor that you improve the nutrition level. I'm sorry, am I going through yet?
सदर मुमलिकत डॉक्टर आरिफ अलवी का आबादी की सूरत हाल से मुतालिक वर्चुअल सेमिनार से खिताब। सदर मुमलिकत ने कहा कोरोना से बचने के लिए हर शहरी हिफाजती तदाबीर पर अमल करे। बढ़ती हुई आबादी के हवाले से भी वो बात कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि बढ़ती हुई आबादी की वजह से मसाइल का सामना है, और इस सूरत हाल में उन्होंने बात की, कहा कि हुकूमत ने ग़िज़ाई किल्लत के मसाइल पर काबू पाने के लिए प्रोग्राम शुरू किए हैं।
Total cooperation of the Minister of Planning and Ministers of Health and the issue of women empowerment. We are also looking, lastly, let me mention the fact that we are also looking to have a brainstorming session in the presidency in the next 2 weeks when we are talking of empowerment of women, where we will mention all these factors, what is needed, and we have looked at inheritance rights, and we need to propagate the fact that women should not be it should not be disempowered by not giving them the inheritance which exists in the laws of Islam and the laws of Pakistan. So as we empower the woman, as we make sure that they get the benefits of the financial outreach of the government of Pakistan, as we believe that this sector has to be uplifted, we will also be giving the messages out for breastfeeding, for spacing in birth, and at the same time maternal nutrition, and to prevent stunting, child nutrition at the same time. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I am very impressed by the survey which has been done, and a lot of work then on the basis of the survey will help the government of Pakistan into planning and putting forward different schemes to improve the health and the health sector of Pakistan, and that I believe is one of the major impacts on poverty alleviation will come through better health of the country. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.